Hello, Amazon Route 53 failover routing. We will learn how to accomplish failover routing using Amazon Route 53. In this failover routing example, we have a registered internet domain and we are managing it with Amazon Route 53. We have a VPC with two subnets in different availability zones, as we can see. And so each subnet has an identical EC2 instance running a web server with the mom and pop cafe website hosted on it. And we want to configure Amazon Route 53. So the HTTP request go to the instance that we can see and availability zone 1 as the primary instance and the instance in availability zone 2 as the secondary. So if the primary instance goes down for any reason, the secondary instance running in availability zone 2 will take over the we take over the handling of the request so that the users will not be faced. So in order to configure this, we need to define a Route 53 health check that monitor the status of the primary web server instance. If the health check determines that the primary instance is unreachable, so then the record sets we define in the hosted zone will route traffic to the secondary instance instead. So the Route 53 health check will also send an alert to our administrator team to inform us about the unreachable instance. So now that we understand the design, let's take a look at how this works. How we can accomplish in the AWS Management Console. We should go to AWS Management Console, navigate the AWS Management Console, and then so we in the search bar we enter and choose EC2. We go and choose EC2 here. And to open the EC2 Management Console, so we type EC2 here and then click on it and we go there to EC2. In the left navigate panes in the instance section, we choose instances. Okay. And two EC2 instances have already been created for us. So we can see each instance is running in a different subnet. And availability zone, we can see we have two different availability zone. Let's verify that the primary web server is working and that the website is available. So for that one, open a new browser tab and paste the public IP address um, for cafe instance 1 and followed by a slash cafe. Okay, we open new browser. So we add a cafe at the end of the IP, domain name because that's where web app is running. Okay, so along with other information about the cafe, Notice that the server information that is displayed, okay, we check them. It shows information about the EC2 instance and the availability zone where it's running. Open another browser tab and paste the public IP address for, okay, cafe instance 2 followed by a slash cafe and then here. So we need to copy the public IP address of each instance when we configure the Route 53 record sets. So let's leave this view open and then so now let's navigate the Route 53 service dashboard. Okay, we type AWS Management Console from the service menu. So we go there and enter the choose Route 53 to open the Route 53 Management Console. Okay, we click on Route 53. Right here we have unregistered domain and one hosted zone as we can see. And the first things that we want to do is define a health check. In the left navigation and choose health check. Okay, we choose health check and then we choose create health check and configure the following option. So for the name, okay, we enter primary dash website, primary dash website dash health. For what to monitor, choose endpoint and we will specify the endpoint by IP address. Okay, for the IP address, we will paste the public IPv4 address of cafe instance 1. And this value can be found in the EC2 console. For the path, enter cafe because that's the URL that loads the web application. Okay, so let's expand the advanced configuration area. And, because this is a demo, we will set the request interval to a short period of 10 seconds. Let's also set the failure threshold of 2. The failure threshold is number of health check that need to fail before the health check status turn unhealthy. Then we will leave the other setting as they are and choose next. Now let's create the alarm portion of the health check. For get notified when health check fail, configure the following options. Okay, so for create alarm, choose yes, and for send notification to choose new SNS topic. For topic name, enter primary dash website dash health, website dash health. Okay, For a recipient's email address, enter an email address that you can access. For example, my address, everyone that have access to that one. Choose create health check, and then we will see that the health check is now defined. It initially has a status of unknown. However, this should be resolved within a few seconds. If we refresh, we will see the status update. Now the status is healthy, which means that the health check verified that it can hit the URL that we define in the setting. And the web server is responding with an HTTP status code of 200. Okay, so one thing to do at this point is to check our email and look for subscription confirmation email and choose the confirm subscription link, which should open a browser page indicating that our subscription is confirmed. Now that we have a health check configured, let's move on to configuring the failover routing that will be initiated when the health check return in unhealthy status. Okay, in the Route 53 console, in the left navigation pane, choose hosted zones. The domain name was already created for us. Choose the domain name to display the two records that already exist in this hosted zone. Okay, these two records were created when the domain was registered with Route 53. Choose Create Record and configure the following options. Okay, and then for record name, enter www, and for record type, choose um, routers traffic to an IPv4 address and some AWS resources. Okay, and some AWS. Okay, for value, enter the IP address for cafe instance 1, and for time TTL second, enter 15. For the routing policy, choose failover from the drop-down list. And so the failover record type is primary because this is the IP of the primary instance. Okay, primary, perfect. And then this routing policy is associated with the health check. So we will choose the health check that we just defined from the drop-down list. For the record ID, enter failover primary. Failover primary. And finally, choose create record to save the record set. Now we need to define another record for the secondary web server. Choose create record. Okay. We will give it the same name www. Okay. For record type, choose A. For the value, we will copy the public IP of cafe instance 2 and 15 seconds for the TTL. The routing policy is again failover, but this time the failover record type is secondary. The record set doesn't need a health check associated with it because it's the backup for the record ID. Enter failover secondary. Okay, failover secondary. So for record ID, we put failover secondary and now choose create records. Okay, and then here there are four record sets in this host zone. The two A-type record sets are the one that we just defined. The first is the primary failover record set that has a health check associated with it. And the second is the secondary failover record set. So here, now let's test this configuration and let's return to the cafe website browser tab and reload the URL. Okay, we go there and again we here we see that the primary instance is the one of that. Okay, so notice the availability zone. We check it. Okay, so now we want simulate an issue with the first server. We're going over to EC2 page and stopping the primary instance. Okay, so we should back to the AWS Management Console and then so on the service menu enter and choose the EC2. Okay, and then we go to the EC2 and then we go to instance. Okay, we go to instance and then we choose cafe instance 1. From the instance that state menu, we choose a stop instance. Okay, we stop. In the stop instance window, choose a stop. This should cause the health check status to change. Now let's look at the status of the Route 53 health check. On the Services menu, enter and choose Route 53. Route 53. Okay, Route 53. In the left navigation pane, choose Health Check. When we wait until the status of primary website health check is unhealthy. If necessary, periodically choose refresh. We do refresh until it shows that it's unhealthy. It might take a few minutes for it to update, but so right now it updates. Notice that the status changed to unhealthy. Okay, so now to the browser tab where we have the website open. When we go there and notice the server information before refresh the page. Okay, so this is the server information. So right now we refresh and it should be changed. It should change. Notice that the region, availability zone, everything's changed, and now display a different availability zone. So right now we have a different availability zone. For example, US West 2B instead of the US West 2A. The failover routing so is working. The website was only on responsive for the specifically. So it was unresponsive during the time. Look for the health check to fail. To fail, given the health check internal of 10 second and two health check fail over. So so after 10 minutes, two 20 second, the failover routing rule kicked in and the HTTP requests to the cafe domain are now routed to the secondary instance that we specified. Okay, so as a final step, let's check our email and see whether we receive a notification. So we check the email and we should have received an email from AWS notification title alarm primary dash website dash health dash AWS route 53, as we can see with detail about what initial the alarm, and it shows every detail. It might take a few minutes before the email arrive, so but we arrive it. Okay, we successfully created failover routing using Amazon Route 53. Okay, so the stop instance initial the fail health check, and the health check used the simple notification service to inform administrator through email. So thank you for watching the video, and thank you for your support.